Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the channel dedicated to the art of Dynasty Fantasy Football. My name is Josh. I'm here with my guy, Noah, a.k.a. Fabio. And guys, guess what? We all know that Jamar Chase is really good at football, right? We know that. Najee Harris is already a top 10 Dynasty running back, in my opinion. And you know what? Trevor Lawrence is already a Hall of Fame quarterback. He doesn't even have to play any snaps in the NFL. He's already Hall of Famer, best prospect since the Lord himself. So we already know this, right? We get it. The top of the rookie drafts are fantastic. But, if you really want to get an edge on the rest of your opponents, and you really want to win not only your startup, but your rookie drafts, you got to hit on some of those later picks, right? While a lot of other teams will waste their late round picks on just grabbing whatever prospect, if you hit on Chase Claypool last season, if you hit on Antonio Gibson in last year's drafts, both third round picks, then your team has that edge that no one else has right now. So that's what we're talking about today. Late round rookie sleepers of this 2021 NFL class. As always, I will drop all of these guys in the timestamps below, and let's get it. Before we kick it off, I want to remind everybody to go join our Discord community. We got a solid crew right now. We got startup drafts going on. Join us there right now.
The Discord channel is one of my favorite. I follow it every day.
It's popping.
I mean, I comment it every day, but I'm in it every day. I get all the time. It's a lot of fun. A lot of staple guys that give good advice. There's some good advice in that chat.
And a lot of great conversation, which is what I'm here for. Yeah, it's
awesome. Hey, kudos anyone watching this. Kudos to the chat for not ever barking at each other. It's very civil, and kudos to the chat. I wish you could get on the board. Man. Kudos to the chat. Hey,
honestly, I would argue that we have the best Dynasty Discord out there. Now, I'm not on any other Dynasty Discord channels, and ours is free, so that already gives them an edge. But we do have a great group of guys in there, a group of which I just started a Dynasty League with that I'm super hyped about. Kick us off, man. Let's talk some rookies. You are the rookie guy. You in your spare time. We all know that you're sitting here watching. You should be running Devy leagues for how much you love college football. Dude, who is both of us are gonna talk about three rookies today, at least deep rookies in the third, fourth round pick of your startup draft, or no, not startup, rookie draft, late into your startup draft. No, who's your first guy?
Well, I gotta just start with my guy, Amon-Ra. I don't know. And so a lot of people will say Amon-Ra's not a late round guy. I don't know what he goes. I took him. We had our rookie draft.
Yeah.
Right after literally we started that Sunday after the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. And I took him 10th overall?
Yeah. Yeah. You took him
10th overall because I was like, I'm going to get him because he's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a target share with the Lions. They got no one to throw to. Mm-hmm. No one to throw to. Their offensive line is decently solid. Jared Goff doesn't have the biggest arm, and Amon-Ra is not a deep burner. He can go up and make a play, but he's not like your Henry Ruggs, stretch the field guy. He's a play in the slot, can play outside. Arguably, coming out of high school, was known as one of the best high school prospects going into college. I personally like to have people on my team that have always been good at football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson has always been good at football.
Yeah.
No matter wherever he's been. Dalvin Cook has always been good at football.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're trying to get guys that if they went to for example, Alabama's always going to have great prospects because they're always going to be in the limelight. But this is one of my biggest secrets in Dynasty. I like to go to schools and I like to cherry pick their best prospects out of their already top tier recruiting classes. Georgia should look at Ole Miss. AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, now Elijah Moore. Those receivers don't just go there for a reason. There's a reason they're going there. It may be money bags, the classic McDonald's money bag thing, hand a stack of cash with a McDonald's bag. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All the different yeah.
And then, so I'm a big Amon-Ra guy. A lot of targets
Like
there. Kenny Galladay's gone. Run game so-so. Defense suspect at most at this point in time. Gonna have to throw the ball. So.
Oh, yeah.
Just what I like.
I could not agree with you more, man. You and I were talking about him the other day as an ideal rookie floor play that can have relevance as soon as his upcoming season because of the landing spot. I know he fell so far, much farther than you and I expected, but he fell in a place where he's going to get fed targets immediately, man, immediately. So it's so funny. If you look at his profile, he tested almost exactly the same as Robert Woods in all the different metrics. Him and Robert Woods are almost identical twins. And I think it's funny because Jared Goff made Robert Woods fantasy relevant for many, many years. And who's Amon-Ra's quarterback right now? None other than Jared Goff himself, right? We all like to shit on Jared Goff. It's super fun to do that. But I mean, he has a decent offensive line in front of him. He needs someone to pass to in this short game because he can't really throw the ball downfield. And like you said, Amon-Ra is going to eat as soon as year one. Right now, Dynasty League Football has him going at the very first pick of the third round. That's his current ADP. Now, this isn't their rankings. That's their current ADP. So people are sleeping on him, right? You were comfortable picking him as a top 10 rookie pick when he's going much later in drafts. And that's just you calling your shot and taking your guy as you should, right? As you should. So I'm all here for it. But before we wrap up the Amon-Ra love, because I just drafted him in the startup that we just finished up, can you tell these guys the story you were telling me about the safety you worked with back at Florida State?
Yeah, so there's a safety that came out of California, 5-star guy, would be anyone that's curious to go look him up. That's all I'll say. And I was working Florida State football, and there was one time I was just like, hey, because he's a very smart IQ football kid. Me and him got along well. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, who's the best player you ever, I asked a couple players, who's the best player you ever played against in high school before you got here? Like, who was like, dude, he was legit. And he goes, oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown. No one could stop him. And this is out of like Mater Dei High School in California, which is where some of the best players on the West Coast go to school. And then he literally went to USC and started contributing immediately on teams that had Michael Pittman, Juju type of receivers,
Oh, yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'll watch this guy. And then he had 4 touchdowns against Washington State.
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdowns against Washington in the first quarter.
Yeah. No.
And it's just, I know they were just fade, but he can go, he may not, Amon-Ra is, I like football players, right? And he may not test out the best. He may not be the tallest. He may not be the quickest, but guys that are just good at football, I'm all for to have on my team. Sometimes it's just good. Like Tom Brady, not a metric guy, but he's a football guy.
Football. And
not saying that he's going to be tough, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. And Amon-Ra's big differentiator, again, is not his size or his speed, but it's his route running ability. Right? I've heard a couple analysts, I should say, call him the best route runner in this class, right next to Devontae Smith. And it's tough. You go watch some of his highlights, man. It's tough to argue that. And if that is the case, and he becomes the alpha there in Detroit, will have fantasy potential right away. And someone in your startup draft apparently can get pretty late. To say the least. All right. I love it, man. Let's switch from a floor play to something more of a ceiling play for me. And the first rookie that I'm going to talk today is none other than Nico Collins himself, rookie wide receiver out of Michigan. All right, guys, I am so excited about Nico Collins. I'm low-key pissed off that in our rookie startup, I got sniped. Sam picked him the pick before me, and I had him queued up. I was so hyped about this pick. So Nico Collins was drafted in the 3rd round by the Texans. Now, the Texans, if you guys remember, didn't have a lot of picks, right? And they had their early 3rd, which they used on a quarterback. And then in the mid-3rd, they clearly need a wide receiver on that team. They traded 2 fourths, a 5th to move up 20 spots to get Nico Collins in the early 3rd round. There's a number of different reasons why I like Nico Collins. First of all, he has all the physical attributes. The man is 6'4", 215 pounds. He scored in the 89th percentile in speed score and the 94th percentile in catch radius. He is a big, fast dude. He's one of the few actual alpha-sized wide receivers in this class, in a class that's mostly just short, shifty guys. we can start looking at his college production a little bit, and it wasn't fantastic. I mean, he coming out of high school, he was a 4-star recruit, graded by 24/7 Sports, so he has the pedigree on that front. But you and I've talked about this so many times, man. Who is Michigan's quarterback? Like, can a casual fan who is not living in Michigan right now name who Michigan's quarterback is, right? Like, I heard the other day in a podcast that elite talent goes to Michigan to die. Like, that's literally, we see that time and time again. And that's why you and I, well, you especially, like Donovan Peoples-Jones, right?
Dude, that was a huge reason why I like Donovan Peoples-Jones, because Harbaugh can't get anything to play at quarterback in Michigan. No. But dude, they recruit the Schnikes out of the football. Like, they always got some decent running backs. They always get, and the thing is geographically speaking, the gene science on you, but the gene pools in the Michigan Great Lakes Midwest area, they're built taller and lankier. They're basketball players a lot of the time playing football. And who doesn't want a basketball player playing football at the receiver position? You just go up and rebound stuff, man.
And it's great because you see these crazy freak athlete wide receivers that came out of high school with all these stars under their name get thrown under the radar after their career at Michigan, right? He did have his yards per reception at Michigan was in the 92nd percentile. So when he had the ball in his hands, he balled out. He broke out at the young age of 19. You love to see that. You love to see wide receivers who perform well at a young age in college. And he did, again, mediocre offense, had 600 and 700 yard seasons in Michigan, and then opts out of the 2020 season. But like you and I talked about, they come out of Michigan. They come into Michigan with all this potential. They are under the radar because of it. And then NFL teams come and scoop them up at amazing values. And for him to go in the early third gets me excited, right? So to put it all together for why I love Nico Collins, he has the draft capital. He has the college production and pedigree all wrapped together as best as he could coming out of Michigan, right? He has all the physical attributes to be an elite wide receiver one. And now, you want to talk about opportunity, man. Who are the wide receivers right now on the Texans? Right, the only one I can name.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, off the top of my head is 30-something-year-old Brandon Cooks, who the man has had 20 concussions so far in his career. So I get it. The offense right now isn't sexy, right? But he does. You have to look at that offense and assume eventually they'll rebound, right? I mean, you look at his rookie year, you look at just this upcoming season, and it's possible that I personally think he's going to make his way on the field. I think right now he's already the second best wide receiver on that team. So he could already be a kind of a boom or bust flex play who could see a decent amount of targets just considering how bad that defense is. And I mean, it's not great targets coming from Tyrod Taylor, but still he'll see volume. But then you look at his future upside, right? What if Watson gets cleared of these charges and isn't traded? Well, if he's Watson's wide receiver one, the man could be a legit top 12 dynasty wide receiver, right? He has that physical ability, and pair him with an elite quarterback. Not saying that's probably likely to happen at this point with Watson and whatnot, but that's within his realm of possibilities. So one way or another, whether it's Watson, whether it's Tyrod Taylor's upcoming season, and they draft a quarterback with the first overall pick in the 2022 draft, I think he's a great pick, and he's a value where he's going. Right now, according to DLF, he's being drafted in the mid-third round of your rookie superflex leagues. It's just too much upside to leave on the board such late in that pick, or such late in that draft. Nico Collins, man, was he on your radar at all?
I really liked him because I loved watching him. Here's the thing. I learned a lot about what happens in the Big Ten because they're usually mossing my team and my Nebraska Cornhuskers. So when that happens, yeah, you kind of get to know guys and you're like, yeah, that dude's legit. Mm-hmm. And Nico Collins was one of those guys. I mean, him and Peoples-Jones were, Shea Patterson was their old quarterback. I don't know who played for them last year. They had a lot of COVID stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. Well, I mean, he didn't even play last year, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, I'm with you.
Oh, Nico, that's right.
Yeah, he opted out of the last season, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that, and again, there's a lot of opt-outs that, like Jamar Chase was an opt-out, but he was an obvious lock-in because his team won the national championship. So it's like you're a shoo-in.
And he broke all those insane records.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, you're on the map, dude. But when you're on a Michigan team that's kind of mediocre by Michigan standards, you just think that whole team's trash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, again, it means a lot to me that he opted out played for a trash Michigan team, but still was drafted in the early third round in a team that traded up to get him. That just shows me right there, okay, they have a plan for him. He's already one of the best wide receivers on the team as of today, and I think he's going to get fed. I definitely think he's going to get fed. So if you can trade for him, if you get him super late in your startup drafts, this is someone I'm targeting for sure. All right, now who is your second rookie you'd like to talk about today, man?
Man, dude. Well, the thing is they're just sometimes I don't know how many people think they're sleepers. Like, what's considered a sleeper? Like past top 20?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Probably
for?
around the late second, early third round. Really depends.
Dude, I mean, I drafted him. I'm just going to rattle off a couple that I really like. I really like Tylan Wallace.
Okay, yeah. Elaborate a little bit on this one, because when I liked Tylan Wallace going into the draft, and then I see him land with the Ravens, which honestly surprised me.
The thing, it's not a matter of what receiver lands with the Ravens. It's a matter of who's coaching the Ravens. This is what I've been sitting on. Okay, so his name's Keith Williams. Any idea who this guy is?
No, yeah, this is the first time I'm ever hearing this name. I'm looking him up now.
How would you feel if the guy that had name your top 5 receivers in the NFL right now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I can throw out a bunch of names like Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, and probably the DK Metcalf or Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams both get trained by this guy.
Oh, interesting.
He's their receivers coach, and he got picked up. He was coaching at Nebraska, was a receivers coach, and got a lot of walk-ons to get on NFL roster spots, like walk-on city farmtown boys from Nebraska go get roster spots in the NFL.
Interesting.
And then secondly, Scott Frost comes in. His whole staff got fired. He didn't get retained. So all he was doing was literally from what I saw was living in the Nebraska Omaha metro area and was just teaching youth guys while also having his NFL clients fly in to get training.
Interesting.
Or he would go to them. And then this offseason, he got picked up by the Ravens to be their pass game coordinator. And I go, okay, I want every Raven imaginable.
Interesting. That is interesting.
I want every single Raven. That's why passing on Rashad Bateman was tough, but I go, I think Tylan Wallace, I don't know if he can be better, but he's going to be, here's the thing, Rashad Bateman, he's going to be the first guy you think to double team. Tylan Wallace, not really. And I think Tylan Wallace is already a better receiver than Marquise Brown. But Marquise Brown, with the guy that was already coaching Tyreek Hill, is very scary to think about.
Interesting. Okay, I wasn't even aware of this. This is fascinating. It's the coaching change that you're excited about. Interesting. Wow. Extremely. Interesting. Okay, that's so funny. This is something that was not even on my radar.
When you add a talent like Tylan Wallace that fell because he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
When you add a talent like that to coaching staff like that to a team that is determined to be able to throw the ball.
Like we'll see if they're able to, man.
They're like, we're going to be able to throw the ball when we need to. They are so determined. They're like the short kid that demands that he's going to be tall.
Interesting.
So it's just, I don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they're committed to making Lamar their long-term guy. Yeah. I think until Lamar shows that he can't go no more.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see it. Personally, there is a part of me that is so scared off from this Ravens passing attack because of Lamar Jackson's inaccuracy up to this point, and because of the overall pass volume we've just seen across the board.
I think look at what happened to Tom Brady his last year as a Patriot. He had no one to throw to, and they sucked offensively.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So imagine if Tom Brady were on that Ravens team. Yeah, you have Mark Andrews.
But there's such a run first team too. I mean, he's going to get 10 to 12 carries.
That's very true. I'm just saying, here's the thing. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, what he did in college was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unhuman what he did defenses in college.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Every single year he has gotten better. And I just don't think Lamar's even gotten close to his ceiling.
Interesting. It's entirely possible, man. It is entirely, but my only concern is the passing volume, right? Over the past 2 years, I think if you add up all the pass attempts together, I was listening to this on a podcast the other day, the Ravens are dead last in pass attempts. So I'm curious to see volume-wise how I'll even out. Not to say they can't be hyper efficient, and we can see something like similar to the Titans, where they don't necessarily pass the ball a lot, but they're so hyper efficient because of it. But you and I have talked about this in the past, man. How are you going to defend? Like you talked about double teaming Rashad Bateman or stacking Marquise Brown. But how are you going to do that when you have to worry about Lamar Jackson coming out of the backfield? You have to worry about Mark Andrews over the middle. Like I agree with you that it's impossible that they could all be hyper efficient on that.
Want to know what? Another reason why I ended up drafting Tylan Wallace is the Ravens didn't draft him because they needed him.
Yeah.
They only wanted to take one receiver in the class. But when Tylan Wallace kept falling, they were like, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. And it's possible. Hey,
no block, no rock. Both the guys that I've talked about can block. We'll get the rock. Got to be in on the run games if you want to be in on the pass plays, man.
Oh, especially with this team, man. Yeah, especially with this team. So we'll definitely have to see. I could see it. If you're right and he does outperform Hollywood Brown, then you're getting, a better player at a much lower price. That
Brown's
for
going
sure.
into what, year 3?
Yeah. Let me see where Tylan Wallace is going right now in the DLF startup. Right now, he is going at the very start of the fourth round in rookie draft. So that's late. That's
here's
undrafted.
The thing. It may not be immediate.
Yeah.
It may be he may be a taxi guy for a year.
Hey, these are sleepers, man. That's what we're here for.
The upside, what he did to some of those, it's Big 12. Big 12 don't play defense. Big 12 don't play defense. Keep that in mind.
We get it.
They don't play defense. Don't know how. They go. What cadence do you do on defense? They don't. They have no idea what they're doing on defense. It's disgusting.
That is funny. Oh, it's bad, man.
But also, hey, think of it this way, though. We all said that the Big 12 can't play defense, but they were also playing in a conference that had Pat Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, almost all in it at one time.
Yeah. In hindsight,
it's like, did they really not know how to play defense? Or are these quarterbacks that good?
That's a great point, man.
So
that is a great point.
They don't play deep, but he terrorized defenses in the Big 12.
I like it.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. I like it, man. Tylan Wallace, go get him late. I love it. I'm going to talk about my second rookie right now, and it is none other than Elijah Mitchell, rookie running back out of Louisiana Lafayette, drafted by the 49ers in the 6th round of this past 2021 NFL draft. Let's look at his college career real fast, right? So if you go to the Raging Cajuns website, he is listed at 5'11", 218 pounds, right? So he's listed at a solid size for an NFL running back coming in. He's scored 16 and 17 touchdowns in his sophomore and junior year. So he was putting up solid numbers and had double-digit receptions in his last 3 years of school, and he was in the 84th percentile in yards per carry during his collegiate career. Now let's talk about his pro day a little bit, because again, he was listed at 218 pounds. He walks into his pro day 17 pounds lighter. He weighs in at 201 pounds. And Noah, I don't know if you know this, man, but as a college player, you don't just lose 17 pounds by accident. Right? You don't just wake up one morning or after a weekend, like, oh man, where'd my 17? No, he did this on purpose. And from what I would guess, I would assume that he was hearing from around the NFL that at his current size, he wasn't likely to be drafted, right? I imagine what he was hearing, that he needed to lose weight and get his 40 time up. And he did exactly that. He lost the 17 pounds and ran a blazing 4.35 at his pro day in the 97th percentile. The man is fast. He put up elite speed score. He put up elite burst and agility score at his pro day. And he has just this amazing physical ability, not to mention his receiving ability as well. So I understand the concern, right? He gets drafted in the 6th round by the 49ers. They had just traded up to get Trey Sermon only a round and a half before. And now he's in an incredibly crowded backfield. You got Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Wayne Gallman is on the 49ers. Then they draft Sermon and now Mitchell at the very end of the draft. And so, that's why he's a borderline 4th round rookie, a rookie pick right now. And you know what? I'm not going to compare these guys too much, but last year, Antonio Gibson was also being drafted super, super late and was put in a really, really crowded backfield. And so I'm not saying that he is Antonio Gibson, but that narrative is possible, right? It's possible for things to switch like that. I think we forget how quickly the Washington football team lost almost all of their running backs in that backfield. And so far, all the reports are good, man. Mitchell apparently is looking great at the rookie mini camps right now for the 49ers. According to Matt Miyako, I probably just butchered his last name, who was a beat reporter for the 49ers. He, in a quote, he said that Mitchell caught the ball extremely well. He made a note that the 49ers passed on a much needed slot wide receiver in the 6th round and chose the speedy pass catching running back instead. Right. And then his direct quote here, he said, Mitchell might step in immediately as the 49ers pass catching running back. This was his quote from what he's seeing. He's there on the field watching how well Mitchell is looking. And so is he going to be Antonio Gibson? Probably not. Right. But I mean, the fact that he's practically free, has this amazing physical and receiving ability, and now plays on this offense where he could step up and be that pass catching option on this Kyle Shanahan offense, man. And he's free. Like, come on, he is worth at least a taxi consideration. He is the DLF ADP of the mid 4th round of your rookie draft, and that just screams value to me. How many other players in that range have this kind of physical ability, this kind of upside on this type of offense? So Elijah Mitchell, man, go get some shares, because honestly, if your rookie draft's over, our rookie draft ended, I picked him up off the waiver wire. Like he was barely on my radar. And then I started doing some research. Like, I need to pick up this guy. So yeah, man, Elijah Mitchell, was he on your radar at all?
I was Louisiana, my Raging Cajuns. I discovered Cajun seasoning like within the past 18 months in terms of like me putting it on all my food. So naturally, I'm a huge Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajun fan. They were so good this year. They were one of the best. I don't want to say one of the best teams in college football, but they came out and dominated their conference. I mean, they just came and smacked people in the mouth. They were ready to play.
I love it.
And they was not through their air game. Let me tell you that. They did not throw the ball that much. So
yeah.
No,
I love it, man.
And anyone that the thing is, Niners, I don't know why, just are cursed with getting hurt. So you never know who's going to step up into that role.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the type of running back room you take a dart on just because you know that running back is going to get volume.
Yeah, I think he could very easily be the Matt Breida in this offense. The Matt Breida,
which makes sense that he missed him last year.
Yeah, man, because he has the speed, he has the pass catching ability. He could easily go in there and get maybe only 12 touches a game, right? Between maybe 8 to 10 to carries and like 2 to 3 targets. But in that 49ers offense, that could be some solid value right there, at least some flex play. Again, flex play you're getting so late in the draft. I absolutely love it. Noah, do you have one last rookie we want to talk about before I wrap up with mine?
Go ahead and do yours, because
okay.
I'm still deciding.
There's just so many great. I literally, after this, I have a list of players that I'm looking at late in the draft. Noah Gray, rookie tight end out of Duke, drafted in the 5th round by the Kansas City Chiefs. A tight end that nobody, guys, I'm not going to pretend to be a dynasty expert, right? I'm not going to pretend to be someone who is just this film grinder or anything like that. But I am such a dynasty degenerate. Like I consume so much dynasty content between podcasts, YouTube videos, Twitter, I'm constantly just researching dynasty fantasy football. And I've barely heard this guy's name mentioned. And he is a player that I'm genuinely excited for. Let's start off with his physical ability, right? He's a tight end, 6'3", 240 pounds, and put up really solid workout metrics, right? He above average across the board at his pro day. And he looked good at Duke, man. He broke out at the young age of 18, scored in the 62nd percentile in college dominator rating. You love to see that. Good players get the ball in college, especially tight ends. And he had target shares of 19 and 11% his last 2 years of college. Again, good players get the ball, especially tight ends. Now, his biggest criticism, he's not a great blocker, right? He's not the greatest blocker in the world, but he is dynamic with the ball in his hand. So this guy is someone who's probably sitting on your waiver wire right now after your rookie draft that has sheer upside right now, because he landed in the perfect fantasy football spot, in my opinion, right? He has the chance to be the perfect successor to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce will be 32 years old this upcoming season. And let's say he plays another season after this. Let's say he plays this year and next year. Let's say he doesn't even get hurt. Just plays those 2 seasons and retires after his 33-year-old season. Who's the second best wide receiver on that team? The second best receiving option on that team after Tyreek Hill? There really isn't one. Right? Are they going to feed Mecole Hardman? Right? Like, is Cornell Powell the solution here?
What do you mean? Travis Kelce's in town.
Well, but you think he's just going to stick around forever? Like, I'm saying after Kelce
okay. That's the thing. In the tight ends, 3-4 years.
Exactly, man.
No. The upside on a deep dynasty stash is definitely there.
Like, someone who just let him sit on your taxi squad for 2 years. Don't even think about him. Right? Do not even think about it. And then it could be the year. What is it? 2023 at that point? You could walk into 2023 season and be like, wow, he just spent 2 years with training under Travis Kelce on this amazing offense, has now refined his skills. He has the physical ability. Like, the upside is he literally could be the next Travis Kelce. He probably won't be. Statistically speaking, he probably won't be, but he's free, right? He costs nothing and can sit on your taxi squad for the next 2 years. So if you have Travis Kelce, if you have George Kittle, if you have Darren Waller, if you have literally any tight end, I do not care. Go pick up Noah Gray, whether it's tight end premium or not. Throw him on your roster. Worst case scenario, you cut him, right? But didn't cost you anything to begin with. He is the perfect dart throw with the insane upside. Because you and I've talked about this before. I love seeing rookies come in that have physical ability, that have the opportunity to be groomed under more experienced players. And I could totally see this happening with Travis Kelce. Anyways, man, that all being said, Noah Gray, go get him. He's free. Do you have any last guys before you and I go through this quick list of rookie sleepers we want to throw out there?
I think Jaelon Darden from the Bucs is a great one.
Oh yeah.
I think Frank Darby, 6th round pick out of Arizona State. You'll realize how much you like Frank Darby after the fact, because I was trying to watch some 2022. I already know about them, but I was trying to go back and watch some compilations of them in terms of just all their throws from Arizona State only played 3 games this year. So I was trying to watch 2019 film.
Yeah, that's weird.
And that's also Arizona State had Jaden Daniels at quarterback. They had Frank Darby on their team. And do you know who else?
No.
Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
so Frank Darby and Brandon Ayuk were the mano type of guys at Arizona State. And you go watch Jaden Daniels, and it's just like, oh, yeah, there goes Ayuk. And then it's like Ayuk does this, Darby does this. Ayuk does this, Darby does this. And I was like, okay. I really like Frank Darby. I have him in another league where I don't have him I don't have room on. Our rosters aren't deep enough, dude.
You have too many sleepers. We have a 15-man bench, man. I don't know. We can't extend it anymore with 3 taxi squads and an injury reserve spot.
I know.
Players.
But
interesting. And he got drafted by the Falcons, right? And that's an interesting spot, especially with
Julio rumors.
With Julio potentially. That's a sneaky pickup, man. You might have just
Hey, throwing this out there. If the Packers were smart, they would try to get Julio, because that's how you save Aaron Rodgers. That's how you keep him in town. You get a new shiny toy. Hey, dude, we just got Julio, Devontae Adams, running backs, Tunyon. Come on, man. We're sorry. We're sorry. Our bad. We're sorry.
It's too late, man. There's no way. I don't know. It's just so much emotion right now. That's going to be a nightmare. That is going to be I like that Frank Darby pick, though. And I also really like that Jaelon Darden pick. He was fun. I mean, you want to go watch just some fun highlights. Just watch him break people's ankles. I know he didn't go to
Jaelon Darden. He joins that crew of receivers with Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson that post Antonio Brown, Gronk, and Chris Godwin. Because as a Bucs fan, I think Mike Evans is here to stay, but I do not think Chris Godwin is.
Yeah.
I'm totally expecting if Chris Godwin leaves after this year, I would not be surprised. If he gets franchise tagged one more year, that's what I would anticipate.
Interesting.
But then after that, it's like, okay, you got these guys a couple years. They're learning behind the best.
Yeah.
We're going to look back at this Bucs offense, be like, wow, they had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and Tom Brady, and Gronk. It's like, dude, ridiculous. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ridiculous. Yeah, I will say this. was, again, dynasty degenerate here, way too addicted at this point. I need other hobbies. Like, I
Dude,
just need
me
other
too.
hobbies. I was, especially between the Super Bowl and the draft. Apparently, a bunch of wide receivers are trained together. I forget what facility it was at, but Jamar Chase was in an interview, and they asked him, they said, "Is any wide receiver right now standing out above the rest during the training and whatnot?" And he said Jaelon Darden was the one who was just tearing it up at this camp compared to all the other wide receivers there. And so for Jamar Chase to say that automatically put him on my radar. I like that concept of him being of that next generation. As a Bucs fan, man, how about we say this? Why can't Jaelon Darden be Kyle Trask's Kadarius Toney, man?
Dude,
In a couple of years
talk
from
to
now.
me. Don't talk to me about Kyle Trask and the Bucks. I'm not here to talk about it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. The only as I'm a Florida State grad.
Yeah.
I'm extremely biased, but I'm telling you, man, the only reason they drafted Kyle Trask is because they needed to get more Florida fans on board to boost their ratings in Gainesville. I'm telling you, there are so many Bucks fans. And then look, what did the Jags do? They go, no, we do Florida better. We're going to get Tebow. It's all just about TV ratings, man. They're just fighting over each other. No, dude. Kyle Trask. Dude, literally the Bucks, it was embarrassing. The Bucks posted this picture on their Instagram of like him at rookie camp, like throwing a ball. And it was like the most slow motion wobble in there. And it's like, no, duh. He's playing against rookies, man. Like, you put him on a real NFL field, and that's getting picked and taken to the house every time. Don't talk to me about this. He doesn't have the arm. He does not have the arm. See what you did to me?
So I don't know if you guys were aware, but Noah's not a big fan of Kyle Trask, and he hasn't been for a while. Yeah,
it's been a long time. I have not liked him.
Long time. Yeah,
I'm like, dude, because here's the thing. This is how you know. This is how you know if a college prospect is good. You go, oh man, Florida State, we're playing the Gators this week. Dude, we have a chance. Kyle Trask is playing. We got a chance. Versus we're playing the Gators, and it's like, okay, here comes Tebow, man. Like, we can't stop him. You know, or like you're playing Ohio State. You're playing Ohio State, and it's like we're playing Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, he's good, but it's Dwayne Haskins. Like, we can handle him. Versus we're playing Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's Justin, you know what I like? That's
for everybody out there. Go YouTube Kyle Trask highlights, and it's literally just Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney. That's his entire highlight reel. It's just him throwing to
carrying the team.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I could not agree more.
Dude,
as soon as I saw Kyle Trask land in the Bucks, I lost it. I thought it was.
I was so mad
right now.
You literally cannot go from the best quarterback to literally the worst quarterback. Like, we are to get the picture. We are here as Bucks fans. Like, Jameis was here, Tom's here, you know, all their other, you know, whatever. But
Fitzmagic's in there.
Man, like, Fitzmagic is right here. You know, he flutters in this area. But like right here, dude. Oh my God, I hate Kyle Trask, and we spent such a high pick on him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I will say, someone you picked up as a great quarterback sleeper, Kellen Mond.
Yes, he was the top of my list, man. He was the top of my list.
I was in a, I can't drop anyone from my team right now. This sucks. Like, I wish I had a bad bench. I've never wanted a bad bench in my life.
Too many sleepers.
They're trying to trade people away, and people are like, nah, because I think they have improved this offseason, but I think there are some rosters that have some trash prospects.
Oh, absolutely.
In our league that have some like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, there is so much out there, especially in a 10-man league. I'm like, dude, there's so much out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that still have like literally players that are borderline on retirement on their teams.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
No, but dude, Kellen Mond, I'm all in. He is the steal of the draft, in my opinion, in a lot of different ways. He's going right now, according to DLF's rookie ADP, in the early 4th, which surprised me. I think that's not necessarily accurate in all Superflex leagues. In my opinion, he could easily be this year's Jalen Hurts, right? In a lot of different ways. So you got this rushing quarterback coming in, and immediately everyone's first thought is like, oh, well, they already have a young quarterback there. Why would they even draft another rookie? Why would they even draft a rookie quarterback? And people thought that about Jalen Hurts, and clearly when the team Yeah, it was an early third round pick too, very early. It was like very top of the third. When a team makes that move, they're telling you something, right? They're preparing for the future. I mean, Kirk Cousins is only 32 years old, right? I think he's under contract for another 2 years.
Well, you know, Minnesota wanted to draft Fields, right?
I did see, and that even adds more fire to the smoke here, man. Like that just that's
Well, yeah, as soon as I saw that, as soon as I
point.
saw, and I like Kellen Mond. His throwing, he reminds me like Nino. I think maybe it was Nino. He's just kind of play style only. He's kind of like a Colin Kaepernick type of guy. Doesn't throw like it, when you look at him throw the ball, it is not pretty. Like the actual motion of him is not pretty, but the result is there, and he can move. And he's smart. You know, like, and so it's just like, man, that's a type of offense that is groomed to have, like, having a quarterback like Kirk Cousins allows you to do something like that, because it's like, Kirk, you know, you're not here forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, dude. Yeah. Like, you're Kirk Cousins.
And Kirk Cousins is so good in the regular season, but I think this team is just getting so frustrated with their lack of playoff success, right? I really do think it's only a matter of time, but it's the same thing with Carson Wentz, right? Where he was decent, but he wasn't consistent enough. It's very possible that mid-season, a minor injury, or even not even 2021, but 2022, let's say Kirk Cousins has a decent season this upcoming year. But in 2022, Kellen Mond comes out in a preseason game and balls out. All of a sudden, Viking Nation is going to be calling for Kellen Mond to be the starter. He's another guy who can get super late, who people are like, oh, well, it doesn't really make sense how he become the starter. That's why he's so cheap. And he has the physical ability to just be a baller, man.
It would only be fitting that Kirk Cousins gets replaced by a later draft pick, like how he replaced RG3.
Oh, yeah.
As a third, fourth round pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
What comes around goes around, Kirk. What comes around goes around, Kirk.
We'll have to see.
Do you know what our mantra was on No Ordinary Pod when I was on with Duggar?
No.
All year, we were always breaking down games of like, because what we would do is we would break down, like, we would post game a week, and then we would Thursday, Friday nights, we would just break down all 16 games, who we liked, who we didn't, break down everything. It'd be hours. We did put 3-4 hours into it.
Wow.
And every time we got to Minnesota, it's like, dude, they're supposed to be favorites, but can't trust Kirk, man. He's supposed to win this game. Can't trust Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
14-16, not Vikings. And it was almost, dude, all the time. All the time. Can't trust Kirk. Can't. Now, I can trust Kirk a little bit more.
Yeah.
But long term, nah. He's gonna have these next 2 years though. Kirk Cousins gonna light it up.
He had a very good fantasy season this past season, like especially with Justin Jefferson coming in. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So we'll have to see, but definitely a name that you should be on your guys' radar. Someone who can get super cheap right now. Then two last names I want to mention that have less to do about the prospect itself and more about the landing spot was Josh Palmer. Rookie wide receiver here for the Chargers. He is currently be drafted in the late third round. And then Ihmir Smith-Marsette, a rookie wide receiver out of Iowa, I believe, for the Vikings. He's being drafted in the fourth round as
Illinois.
Well. Is it Illinois? I want to say, let me double check that.
Unless if we're thinking of the wrong player.
We might be thinking
of are you talking about the guy that jumped a freakish amount at Illinois or not?
Let's see.
He jumped like 43 inches.
I want to say
I could be wrong. Are you talking about the Iowa guy?
Yes, I am. I'm talking Iowa.
Okay. There was a guy that transferred from USC that has kind of a similar last name. Oh, it's Ihmir Bebe.
Oh,
Matter Bebe out of Illinois. Matter Bebe out of Illinois jumped like 43 inches at his pro day.
Gosh. That's funny.
It was like, dude, this is ridiculous.
Why did he get drafted?
I don't know.
Funny.
But he was just like the tallest dude out there. Illinois is just like they come out, they're not that great, and then they just bring bam. Where's that guy from? Oh, he transferred from USC. That makes sense.
Of course.
Illinois doesn't recruit guys like that, but transfer makes sense.
Dude, these USC wide receivers are legit, man. That's why I'm excited. I drafted Amon-Ra pretty late in a startup, and I'm really excited. He's like my 6th or 7th wide receiver on this roster, and I'm pretty hyped about it. But anyways, all these guys, like, let's not get too hyped about Amon-Ra again. But Josh Palmer, great landing spot, right? Absolutely great, especially with this up and coming rookie quarterback with Mike Williams potentially not even being on the team after 2021. I think he's walking into a great opportunity. I mean, the Chargers took him over other great wide receiving options in the third round. That tells you something, And then Ihmir Smith-Marsette, again, drafted late by the Vikings, but the Vikings have just such a history of taking these late round wide receivers like Stephon Diggs, right? Drafted super late, like Adam Thielen, who was undrafted, and then making them legit fantasy options. And Ihmir Smith-Marsette is already the third best wide receiver on that roster, I think. Compared to Chad Beebe and the rest on that roster, I think he could easily work his way up there. But anyways, those are all the sleepers, man. Is there anyone else you want to touch on before we head out of here?
Yeah, one more, just draft capital, man.
Oh yeah.
Tutu Atwell.
Interesting, dude. He's so
57th, dude.
He's so small.
Hear me out, man. He's going so late.
He is. Yeah.
And he was taken 57th. And do you know why they took him 57th?
His speed?
They were scared that because they don't have a lot of picks, the Rams.
Yeah. That was their first pick, wasn't it, too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They were scared. They heard someone played them, in my opinion, that he was not going to be there at their next pick or even close to it.
Wow.
So they were like, if we want him, we got to get him now.
Wow.
And you pair that speed with Deshaun Jackson, with Matthew Stafford's arm, with that run game.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, so Deshaun Watson definitely won't be there. Deshaun Jackson won't be there past this upcoming season, right? You imagine
it's a matter of just learning behind a deep threat.
They did draft him so high.
They drafted him so high.
But dude, I'm an inch taller and 20 pounds heavier than him. I just don't understand.
Well, dude, I have seen some kids at Florida State. It's all about how big you play.
Interesting.
My only issue is he better be, because he ran allegedly a 4.35.
Yeah.
So the dude can fly.
Yeah.
So
his profile is so nice too. I mean, his college dominator, his college target share, and his breakout age are all.
I like guys that have always been good at football.
Yeah.
I like guys that have always been good at football. Tutu Atwell.
So
what's his ADP?
Oh, I'll pull it up. It's undrafted, I'm sure.
Second round.
Yeah, he late fourth. Super late fourth.
Second round. He's going to come in the second round, just like a team that makes it. You may buy a shitty sports car, but if you spend a lot of money on it, you're still going to want to drive that baby and test it out. And you might have hit a diamond in the rough type of thing.
You know what's weird with this team? They're going to have such big cap troubles next season. And if Deshaun Jackson's not there, they don't have another field stretcher, right? And Matthew Stafford's there for a while. I could see it, man. He's just so tiny. I'm sorry. He's just so in my head. I'm like, man, anyways, got to give the short kings hope though. And I'm always pro team short king. Absolutely.
Hey dude, I'm a short guy. I legitimately, my parents laughed at me this weekend because they're like, Noah, I only had 19 kids at the game. And they go, a solid 7 to 10 of those kids are definitely taller than you.
Of these middle school football players.
They're 11 and 12 years old. And they're legit. I have 2 6'4" kids.
Wow.
And I go, how are you that tall?
Yeah, that's funny.
So,
hey man. Well, they're giving us hope. These short guys, they're giving us hope. I love it.
Tutu Atwell, man. I picked him up, man. I picked him up. I was pretty happy about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have him in this league.
In our league? Okay, good. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. All right, Noah, this was awesome, man. This was way overdue. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Subscribe. I mean, I saw a comment the other day on one of our videos. It was like, dude, why would I subscribe? Because you guys haven't been making any content. Well, that's about to change, man. We're getting back into it with some fire content this offseason. I think we're gonna start doing our top 10s at each position, start talking rankings, then we'll potentially even go through each division, talk more high-level strategy, talk more sleepers, because that's at this point what we're known for. Subscribe to the channel. It's going to be awesome. Join our Discord. Noah, thank you, my brother. Thank you. This was so much fun. We will do this again. We will see you all next time. Peace.